today's focus is going to be all about finding and attracting. So we don't just want to be those people that search, but we want people to actually be attracted to us on LinkedIn. And so what we're going to cover today is your daily connections, your how to create a lead list, and then your targeted engagement. And hopefully, the goal for you when you do your homework is for you to walk away with at least 100 leads, like identified, that you are going to start to work. And I think it's going to be easier than you think. All right. So, this is what I start with every single day. This is my engagement strategy and what I call my daily LinkedIn habits. Besides posting a post, the first thing I do is I check my notifications. On your notification tab, you're going to see that there are three categories. It's jobs, my posts, and mentions. Jobs will be any kind of, if you've put any kind of filter or search requirements into LinkedIn, prompting them to look for jobs for you, then they're going to send you jobs that match you on a daily basis. So they're going to ping you and let you know that jobs went live. I personally don't use that tab because I'm not searching for work right now. But I do use my post tab and my mention tabs. So I go through the posts just to see what my engagement has looked like, who's engaged, if anyone has mentioned me in a post, and then that gives me the ability to go in and to respond. So I don't want to miss anybody. The worst thing possible is to leave somebody hanging, right, on a comment. They leave you a nice comment and you don't go back to say thank you or give them a heart emoji or something, but you want to be able to take advantage of that interaction and keep it going. And the way that we do that is by making sure that we stay on top of those engagements. Another thing that I look at every single day is my profile views. This is what I call the potential to bring you money because you get to see who's actually looking at your post. Now, just so y'all know, only 4%, I think 4% of the users on LinkedIn are actually posting and engaging, like an obvious engagement, like a daily engagement. So they're not posting, they're not necessarily leaving comments. So there's only about 4% who are doing this. Then there's the others who are on the platform, but you don't see activity from them, but they're there. These are going to be people that actually you'll find viewing your profile. A lot of times, those that view your profile are people that you happen to pique their interest because of something you posted, something you wrote, maybe a comment, or perhaps a comment connection. But those profile views are going to be a big opportunity for you. And this is what I do with my profile views. I actually go through them and I take the time to send them a message. And when you look at the profile views, it's going to tell you how they found you and why they, not necessarily why they came to you, but it's going to tell you from what route they found you. So the really cool thing about this is that you can send them a nice message and say, hey, hey, Mr. Smith, I saw that you popped and viewed my profile. Is there anything that is of interest to you? Or thank you so much for checking it out. It's just something really brief, but you're letting them know that that they saw you, right? But also it make that person a warm connection, right? So if they haven't connected with you yet, or they're a possible lead and you haven't started a conversation with them, this simple, hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out my profile. Was it my post that about daily habits that resonated with you? So these are just little prompts to create some conversation between you and the person that viewed your profile. Is anyone currently doing this now? Looking at who is viewing your profile, just drop a one in the comments if you're already doing this. All right. Another thing that I do on a daily basis is that I catch up with my network. So if you go to the catch up tab in your on your LinkedIn, you're going to see that you have the ability to send people birthday messages, celebrate work anniversaries, and congratulate them on any educational anything that they did, if they graduated from college or they got a new master's degree, whatever it is that they're celebrating within their education, you actually get notified and you can send them a celebration note. Why is this section so important? Well, this section is what turns my connections that I would consider, kind of stagnant. I haven't talked to them in a long time. It gets me back to staying warm and keeping myself top of mind with them. Now, when you have a big network, you're going to have like 15 birthdays to send out messages, and it could seem like a lot of work, but I promise you that it is worth it. So the key here is that when you send a birthday message and they respond to you, you've now created a conversation in the DMs. And what happens when you create conversation in the DMs with anybody? Does anyone know what happens? What magic happens when you talk to people in the DMs? Okay. Anybody want to guess? You can put it in the comments. Guess what happens when you have sparked up a conversation? That means you spoke to them and they spoke back. What has happened? What have you created? The magic is that now they will see all your posts. Why? Because LinkedIn thinks now that they're interested in you because you are having conversations with them. So as soon as you're engaging in the DMs, now you will be on their feed every time you post. A lot of people don't know this trick. So if you really want to get in someone's feed every morning, talk to them in the DMs. So this is, again, celebrating with them, sending them a message. Hey, thanks for viewing my profile. Whatever it is, this is going to have a ripple effect and keep you top of mind. And yes, it does create the connection, Jason. You're right. A better connection, and it does remind them about you, but it does something to the algorithm, which I absolutely love. And that's putting you in front of their feed or on their feed. All right, so how many of you are already doing this? Put a one in the chat if you are. No? Okay. Put a two if you're going to start doing it today. All right, so connection request. We're going to talk about what the rules for connection requests are because there are rules. And so LinkedIn actually has these rules with connection requests. So how many connection requests does it actually allow? And it really does depend. There isn't an actual number, and you can Google it and it'll say, 20, 25, 50, 100. And the truth is that it's actually different for each account. So there are a few things that LinkedIn actually looks at. One thing you're going to notice is that a paid account is always going to have more favor on the platform. Also, if your account is complete, it's a trustworthy account, it also is going to have more favor. And it's also going to depend on how many connections you have, because the bigger your network is, the more chances that they're going to allow you more connections, more engagements, and all of that. So what happens with LinkedIn is that they're really careful about making sure that nobody is a bot and you aren't getting any spammy messages and things like that. If they feel that you're spamming people, then they will actually put you in LinkedIn jail. So one thing you never want to do is send out like a copy and paste and send out to 100 people in 15 minutes. You're technically being a spammer in that case. So do everything with some spacing in between, and give it a good rhythm, and then you should be safe. Also, LinkedIn will tell you you've met your connection request max. And so once you hit that, you just have to wait until you can send some more out. So these are kind of their rules in regards to in regards to the connection requests. So there isn't an actual amount. I like to do about 25 a day, depending on what I'm trying to do, or if I'm recruiting or if I'm working on sales. If I'm doing recruiting, I might send 50 out. And then what I also do with my connection requests is that if they haven't actually responded to me within 30 days, I actually withdraw my connection request. So I don't leave a ton of connection requests pending. Actually, LinkedIn doesn't like that. And actually, they can flag you for that as well because they think that, well, why don't people want to connect with her? Why are they ignoring her? So pending connection requests can be withdrawn and canceled. All right. So with connection requests, there's a few things that we can do, right? We can send a request without any type of note, which I actually do quite often. And it works depending on how warm the person is. And we're going to talk about how to warm up connection request in a minute. But a good way is to also to find some common ground, introducing yourself. Hey, Dr. Wells, we both worked with the orthopedic group in Los Angeles. Do you remember me? Or hey, we went to the same school. Or hey, I see you're in San Antonio, so am I. Would love to connect. Just real simple, one sentence, common ground. I like to talk if it's somebody that's in Texas, then I'll often send a message that says this. I hope you're enjoying the Texas cool down. I sure am. Would love to connect. That's my intro line to people in Texas. So if you have a common ground, this is a great way to get their attention. Uh, Now avoid things like, really long paragraphs and things of that nature. Also offering a little praise. Maybe you read an article that they wrote. Maybe you saw a post and you were, intrigued by it. So you want to mention that. You definitely, if you're going to write something, if you're going to write anything, then you definitely want to personalize it. If it is just a connection request, and I'm going to show you how you can do it without a message, we'll go into that in just a sec. Connection message etiquette. So here are the rules that I stick by, and I found that they really do work. I never ask for anything when I send a connection request. So it's never a, hey, can you do this? Or hey, go to my link, or hey, go to my post, or hey, I just, that's not something that I do. So you shouldn't ask for something from somebody that doesn't know you. It's like, think about being in a networking room and you walk up to somebody, and instead of introducing yourself and finding common ground, you say, hey, go to my website. Yeah, they're not going to like that, right? And then when people accept my request, I simply say thank you. I, again, don't ask for anything. This is just this is the etiquette that I follow. And then I do say something like this, like, hey, would you like to support one another's content? Or hey, I saw your content. I'm so excited to follow along. So you're saying like, hey, I'm here for you. I hope that you're here for me too, but you don't have to ask for anything. So it depends on how you want to approach it. And I always say, know who your audience is before you send any kind of message. As I would tell my kids when they would turn the TV on and put some like violent movie on, I'd say, can you guys read the room? Your mother is here. I don't want to see that. You're not reading the room. So, yeah, so read the room before you send out that message. All right. So when it comes to prospects, we want to remember that we have prospects already. One of the things with recruiting, and I would get so frustrated with my recruiters, was that they were always looking for the next, the next, the next, the next, the next. And they would have a massive pool of folks that they had already reached out to over the years, and they weren't going back to speak to these people. So they were just always fishing for the next. Remember that your network is already somewhat warm enough in the fact that you can send them messages without it costing you a point, like a connection point, right? So you're not limited to talking to your warm market. So one of the things that I like to do when searching for prospects in my warm market for free on LinkedIn, this is without using Sales Navigator, is that I go through the people search. I look for my first connects, and then I hone down on locations and then add the filters that way. Another thing that you can do is if you're looking for prospects within your connection, your connected network, and you're not quite sure if they're your target market, a great way to find out is by adding an influencer on your search. So your search is going to say, who do they follow, or what their interest is. So you can actually put. So let's say that you want to you want to get in front of somebody's traffic. You can actually put their name there, and it's going to pull up all of your connections that are following that person. So now you know whether or not you have that, common ground that you're looking for. Are they folks that are following Medicare? My prospects are people that need Medicare compliance. So there is, let's just say there's a Medicare influencer. I don't know if there is, but let's say there is one out there. I'm sure there is. You would put their name, and then all the people following them will populate, and you'll have a list of them. This is what that looks like here. So, oh, I'm sorry. This is what the free, if you look at this, the free search bar is going to look like. And then this is what I do with my cold market. So when I do my cold market, I go into my second degree. So it's first degree, second degree, and third degree. So you're connected, they're connected to somebody that's connected to you. So what I like to do is I actually like to go and do these type of filters in Sales Navigator. So we're going to dive into that next. But if you look here, it's pretty simple. I put hospital chief, was supposed to say probably some more than that, but it popped up all of my CEOs of hospitals. And I can also go all the way down to current company. So if I wanted to talk to all of the executives from HCA, which owns thousands of hospitals, then I can go ahead and put current company HCA, and all of their CEOs, VPs, directors will populate on my list. Now, your cold market is limited. So if you noticed, your warm market, meaning that they're already connected to you, is unlimited messaging, where your cold market is going to be limited because you only have X amount of messages you can send out and X amount of connections that you can send out. So here's what I do on Sales Navigator. If you guys were to look into my Sales Navigator, which I might give you a peek, you would go, oh my gosh, she really is a sales leads girl. I have lead lists for days. And one of the things that I love about Sales Navigator is that it will actually send you system generated leads. And this is why I believe that LinkedIn is one of the best business tools out there. It is essentially a database of folks. And it's not just a database, but it is a business database, right? So I like to look at my recently accepted connections and emails, and LinkedIn will Sales Navigator tells me who they are, and puts them on a clean little list for me. They also will send me my recommended leads. Who and how do they get these recommended leads? Well, they will go according to your filters. So if you have created saved search filters, they will go ahead and send you recommended leads on a daily basis. Another thing is you can also save accounts, which would be like hospitals or actual organizations. So if you're prospecting for corporate clients, you can also create those lists, and Sales Navigator will recommend those as well. Is anyone already using this tool and you have a list already that you're working on? Put a one or a high five or anything in the chat if you are. Awesome. All right. So how do I filter my leads and what am I looking for? And this is what I had mentioned early in the workshop, was that there is actually a way to warm people up before you ask for a connection. And those are the people that I will send a connection request to without a message. I'll just send them a connection request. And most of the time they accept because they think that they already know me. And so what I do is that when I go through my lead list, I will open up the lead. So in this case, it's Hannah Lichetto, and she's a nursing director. And so I'm going to look for her recent activity on LinkedIn. If Hannah has no recent activity, it's going to be really hard for me to start any kind of engagement with her. But if my lead, Jill Goldstein, Deputy Chief Nursing Officer, is active on LinkedIn, I get to immediately start engaging with her. So this is what I would call my daily engagement strategy. So I go and I look for their post, I comment, I like, I engage, and there are several things that you can do here. So it's that there's this thing about people having to see you, I think 7 times. I think now they say it's like 10 times, 12 times, because we have so much thrown at us on a daily basis, through the internet. But they have to actually see your name and your face, why your profile picture is so important. See your profile several times in order for them to just think that they know you. How many times have you seen a profile over and over on your feed and you're like, I know this person? You don't know them, but you're like, I know them because Joe keeps popping up on my feed, so I feel like I know Joe, right? So this is the approach that we are going to take when it comes to getting cold leads to actually think they know us before we send them that connection request. Is anyone doing this right now? Yes. So what else do? We want to hang out in their circle. So the last thing that I think the last thing that any, for example, CEO of a hospital wants to do is go through a bunch of LinkedIn messages that all sound the same. Hey, Mr. CEO, do you need any more staffing agencies? I can fill spots quickly. Let me help you. They keep going. They get that stuff all the time. Plus, they're CEOs, so they get vendor pitches all day long for every department in their hospital. But if you hang out in their circle, engage on their posts, endorse a skill, view their profile, they get to see that. They go, Claudia Garcia saw my profile. That's another one. Now, I just commented on a post, but I also commented on a mutual post. So these are all touch points that give you a better chance of that person responding to both your messages and to your connection request. Do you guys see the correlation here? How we're warming folks up? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, so we're right on time actually. So let's see here. So let's jump into any questions about leads or how to get leads on LinkedIn. Anywhere that you're stuck, any questions you have about how to connect or not connect, who to connect with. Anyone? Just really quick on the connections. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you don't have to respond to every connection request. And in fact, you don't want a network full of folks that don't, A, they're not in the country. Number two, they're not, unless you're a global consultant, you want folks from other countries, then go for it. But if it doesn't apply to what you're trying to do, you don't have to respond to all the connection requests. In fact, I don't recommend you connecting with everyone. And we did talk about that in the beginning. Want to connect with people within your industry. And then those that can be a really great referral source on those you're maybe using for education and things like that.
Claudia,
All right. All right. So that was day 3. I am going to send you guys I'm going to actually send you my YouTube video on how to use Sales Navigator, how to create lead list. If you haven't already watched it, I'm going to send that to you guys in email afterwards. And you will be a pro once you're done watching that. It's about 30 minutes long, so it's not really long. And I'm just excited to see what you guys do. And I do have an opportunity for you guys if you guys don't mind letting me share that with you. So the opportunity to work with me is a 90-day coaching program. And what this is what it's going to look like is there's going to be one-on-one coaching sessions every other week, weekly action plans and templates, access to a private group. I'm actually working on the private group now, so it's not open yet. The private group, I'm looking for healthcare folks to be part of this group. So it won't be for everybody, but that is the 2025 plan. Resource library, checklist. I have consultant templates and consultant agreements, as well as my DM scripts. I'm transparent. I'll give them all to you, which ones have worked, and I'll tell you which ones don't work. In this 90-day coaching program, these are the outcomes that I would love to see for you. And that's crafting out your signature offer. The one offer that is the money maker. And then developing a clear service. So that's also part of your signature offer. And then setting pricing and package options. Then accountability for consistent lead generation. So this is me looking at your goals and then making sure that you hit those. The best part about having a coach is those check-ins. I've always had a coach. I never wanted to sit in front of my coach and say I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So I was like, oh, I'm getting it done. I'm getting this done. Accountability, and then so that's always great when it comes to coaching is the accountability piece is big. Content calendar review and feedback for the new year. And then also your marketing resource review for the new year. So anything that you're doing, so whether you're hiring a team or VAs, I will look at what that plan is and your resources that you're going to put out and review those with you and help you find those things. And then also the same with your sales funnel process, simplifying your sales process and your funnels. Um, this is really going to be great if you are looking to have just an amazing strategy for 2025, not walking into 2025 in the dark. And I mean, no, I'm not putting any pricing on here. This will be a one-on-one conversation. If you're interested, just message me. We'll talk and we'll see if it's a good fit. Because it also has to be a really good fit for both of us. I thank you guys so much for just being here. And I love that you guys took the time, invested in yourselves and in your marketing plan for LinkedIn. And you guys are already doing a great job. I can't wait to see Jason and Rick's new profiles up soon. And I can't wait till you guys start posting. And Zane, keep it up. I loved your post yesterday. It's doing well. How many engagements?
I am looking at it right now, and it's getting up there. It's not something I would have normally posted, but it's me. I'm looking
It's
here.
you, and it's
It's
simple.
totally me. Thanks to
It was
you.
you, and it was simple. I love
It,
it.
I was inspired by yesterday's session with you, so very much
Good.
inspired.
Claudia, what was your first post? Do you still have that? Is it framed? Your
Oh
first
wow,
original?
that's a good
Actually,
idea.
I think my first post, that was probably within like the last 2 years, was I was part of a staffing association organization. And if you've ever heard of Barb Bruno, she's an icon in recruitment.
Yeah.
Um, and she became my bestie on that trip. And so I have a picture of me and her. And yeah, I love her. She's actually a LinkedIn instructor. So she instructs for
Oh
LinkedIn,
wow.
but she's been in the industry for like, I don't know, 35 years. I think she's getting ready to retire, but she's a legend when it comes to recruitment. So I used to get her coaching courses like 10 years ago. And then when I met her, I was like, so yeah, made her my bestie, and then I took a picture and I posted it on LinkedIn. I think that was my first, like, hey, I'm active. But I was
I
Mhm.
doing the
love it.
leads, the sales and leads, I was doing way before posting. Posting is sort of new in regards to consistency. So that I'm challenging myself and I love it. I'm literally going, okay, nope, you can't skip. You need the data. And that's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the love of the data.
Oh,
My goodness.
The
love it.
LinkedIn
So
lives are really good.
yeah, yeah, those are actually they're so much fun because although people don't show up live, they're watching the recording. So I get to see like 200 people watched your recording. So I look at the
Ah,
stats later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So well, thank you everyone. If you guys would be so kind and leave a review. Zan, I'm gonna use yours if you don't mind. Um,
Absolutely.
okay. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd love to share it and post it for the next one. I'll be having another workshop in December, so I hope you guys will refer your friends. I hope that it
Absolutely.
was something that you really got some great things out of. Thank you again. I wish you guys the best in
Th-
2025. I'm here. Y'all need me. I'm just a DM away. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Claudia.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.